Hello guys and welcome into this lesson, and in this lesson we are going to see on how to download and set up our Visual Studio Code and why do we need our Visual Studio Code. First, we need our Visual Studio Code so that we can have an environment for writing our actual code. In this environment we are going to be writing different programming languages. We need to write HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Where do we write all that logic or that code? We write that in Visual Studio Code. Then after that, we are going to read the output in our browser. To download Visual Studio Code, you go to the Visual Studio Code website, that is Visual Studio Code download. Then you visit the first link, that is the code.visualstudiocode.com. Then here click on the first link. Then after this, you are going to choose the operating system that you are using, depending if you are using Windows, if you are using a Linux machine, or if you are using a MacBook machine. If you are using Windows, just click here on Linux. If you are using Debian or RPM, then a MacBook. In my case, I'm using Windows. Click on Windows. Let's wait for it. Then it will be presented with this window here. Select the folder or the directory that you want to make sure that you download your code. In my case, it will be the downloads, but because I've downloaded it, let's now, after downloading it, let's now set it up. Go to your files and select the Visual Studio Code that you have downloaded, then double click it. Then after double clicking it, click on this run. Then after clicking this run, read all through these rules here and the licenses here, then accept. Then click next, click on next, click on next. Then here click on these icons here just to create a desktop icon that you can see. This is an icon, an application icon. Then after selecting all that, click on next, then click on install. Let's wait for it to install and then we start our code and see how our Visual Studio Code looks like. It's installing all the necessary files and the dependencies. Then after it's done, now you can click on finish. When you click on finish, it will automatically launch our Visual Studio Code like this one here. Now it has downloaded everything here, and you can see here I have my files here, and I have my Visual Studio Code here. This is the terminal here, and everything that we need is already here in our machine. Now, what if you don't have a Visual Studio Code? What if your machine is not accepting? What if you are using a friend's machine and you need to install Visual Studio Code, or you don't want to install a Visual Studio Code? You can use a Visual Studio Code alternative called replit.com. Just click on replit.com. Let's wait for it to load. Then after this, you will be prompted with the login screen. Then after login, then you are going to be represented with this file here, with this page here, sorry. Then this page here is where you are going to be writing your code. Here you can create on files, you can add everything here, you can explore. We can try to explore here. You can see we have a new reports here. You can click here on home, go home, templates, and we can see we have everything provided here on our replit. Our replit here, you can change the mode from dark to light mode here, from light mode to spooky, or this light modes here to dark. You can set your environments here. Then after that, you'll be ready now to go. Thanks guys, let's meet in our next lesson that will be creating our actual files.